Everyone can't be a Frank Gore, all right, and play 16 seasons, going on the 17th season now. Now, he's a different animal. I can't compare him to. That's a different animal. To play 16 years at running back in this league, in this new day and era, is nothing short of amazing.
He's incredible.
Nothing short of amazing.
I'll talk about another Navy man. Roger Staubach's career was delayed until he was 29 and played until he was 39. And the only reason he retired at age 39, because he could still move around and everything, was concussion problems. He was one of the real early concussion guys. He got his brain rattled around. He had a phenomenal 10-year career. Like I said, he won 2 Super Bowls. And he was a damn good quarterback at age 39. And really, legitimately, you could look it up, fact check me. The only reason he retired is because his brain was getting rattled around. And you're absolutely right. Joique, there aren't many guys like that. You know what we don't talk about enough? And I'm very serious when we say this. Yeah. We don't talk enough about guys like Frank Gore. We don't talk enough about guys like Tom Brady.
Now, tacos aren't underrated. Frank Gore is totally underrated.
Oh, 100%.
Totally underrated. He doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Tom Brady is not underrated, but what is underrated is how old Tom Brady is. That is underrated. And can I tell you why Tom Brady is underrated? Because Peyton Manning, when the bottom dropped out of Peyton Manning, the bottom dropped out of Peyton Manning. He couldn't throw anymore. We saw it with your boy Drew Brees. All due respect, okay? Yeah. Drew's arm was shot, okay? Yeah. How Tom Brady continues to do what he does at his age isn't talked enough about. We talk about him being the GOAT, but we don't talk about the guy's 75. Come on, man. I have a tough time making it around my block. Thank God for my walker. Hi, I'm Sean Baligian for walkers. You know what I'm saying? And this is Frank Gore is in the Frank Gore is getting pounded. The man's getting pounded. And he just keeps going out there. Death, taxes, Frank Gore.
And so Art put into, or Kennedy put into the script, what makes Frank Gore different? What code has he broke?
I'm going to shut up.
That allows
Professor Bell's in the house right now.
I'm going to tell you what it is. It's simple. It's simple math.
Put my hat on back.
Being available. Being available. That's the code. Being available. This guy has played 16 seasons in the NFL, and he's missed less than 16 games. That's one game a season. That is one game a season on average. This guy's missed less than 16 games in his career. That right there is what separates him from running backs who played 2 or 3 years. I know backs who missed 16 games, right? 16 games in one season. IR. Hurt. Bill Russell said it best. The best thing you can do for your organization is be available. And Frank Gore has he's not only been able to be available, but he's been productive. Now, last year he averaged 3.5 yards a carry, which isn't great, but the guy of his knowledge of having a locker room to get production out of him, to have him around your younger guys, showing them the things that they can do to make sure that their bodies are available day in, day out, year in, year out. This is the type of guy you want in your locker room.
Joique, you know what I love? You just said something, because I think sometimes stats tell a story, but they don't tell the whole story. And what I mean by that is this. All right, yeah, maybe you look at it and you go, the end is nigh for Frank Gore. Can we get out the magnifying glasses and look at how many tough yards that guy gets? Right? I don't give a crap if you're averaging 3.5 yards a carry. I don't, really. Yeah. If on 3rd and 2, I know I give the ball to you and you're getting 2 yards.
Yeah.
If on 4th and 1 at the 1 yard line,
at the goal line, you get it.
Screw
in.
This. I don't need that. I don't need the field goal.
But
we need a touchdown now.
But that's where
if
the
you're
scouting
getting me
comes
the
in.
tough yard, I'll take 3.5 yards.
But that's where the
pop.
scouting comes into play, and not having lazy scouters going looking at numbers and not really watching the full.
You're right.
You know, and that happens a lot more often than not.
Sure does.
Unless you're a big name.
You're damn right.
Unless you're a big name.
Arthur.
I think longevity plays a bigger part than what people want to realize, because when you look at how much attention we pay to the draft, and it's great to have the new players come in, that's great, but I mean, when you're looking at these stats, 16,000 yards joining Walter Payton and Smith. Like, he's the all-time leading rusher for the 49ers. Like, you're talking about longevity, but what makes Frank Gore? Because the man just looks unhuman. When you look at this picture, he looks like the black version of Brock Lesnar. I'm just being honest. Like, the dude is stacked and just, that's a savage. But
he's on the Joique Bell workout.
Yeah, but how do you do that
workout.
in a league to where they take no prisoners? Like, what do you attribute that to? Is that genes? Is that just dedication?
That's everything. That's the full combination of God-given talent, the right mental attitude, the right work ethic, the right genes, all right, the right environment that you grew up in. Because sometimes the environment that you grew up in can help you build the mentality that he has to become successful in playing this league.
We talk about it all the time.
Look at that, three of them.
You know, we saw an example here.
Is that you, Art?
That was me.
Like, why did they put that in the video?
We saw an example of it right here in our own backyard, okay? You know, we always talk about the guys that, you know, I bring up Marion Barber or Sean Alexander, okay?
Get Chad on the phone.
Do you know who we saw? Do you know who we saw here? Up close, personal. We all saw it in our own little petri dish.
Calvin Johnson?
LeGarrette Blount.
Oh, LeGarrette Blount.
It was done. It was over. It was over. Everybody knew it. I think LeGarrette Blount, now a couple of years removed, would probably sit back and say, "Wow, it bottom dropped out." You know, it happens to guys, and it hasn't happened to Frank Gore. LeGarrette Blount was a productive back, the way he was utilized for many years. You know, and when he came here, it didn't take you long. He was done. It was over. And if you don't believe me, there's a reason why his phone didn't ring after he left here. If guys think you can play, they're going to give you a contract. And there's a reason why his phone didn't ring.
Well, now he's got his son, too, which Steve brought up a good point. His son could be a future NFL star, too. Like,
yeah.
It's
So what it is that if he plays, I think, like 1 or 2 more seasons, I think he'll be the first player in history to be able to play with his son in the NFL.
Could you imagine that? That'd be unbelievable.